I mean teaching weirdnesses, opening, expanding, dropping me into lights. I feel ecstasy, wonder, delight, I feel spirit. This is all far, far away from Western social realities. Economies based on internal combustion engines and other nature-exploiting technologies. Societies based on scarce access to physical necessities like healthy food, air, and living space. Cultural milieus featuring alienation and violence. All are intrinsically and spiritually deathly and cannot in any form change sufficiently to pass the time barrier into new life. All this which so many take for granted is dying and will disappear like the dinosaurs. And so will those modes of being, consciousness, thought, and personality, which cause and live in such societies. Thus, my belief that we who unfold and become our gayness are passing through these fated changes into entirely new being, cultures, and realities. The secret keys are in each of us as we become each our true self. These essays and all my work have the aim of supporting and encouraging this process, these changings in me, in my gay brothers, and all who desire it. The sense of gayness as a spirit path is growing. As we break out of straight mind bindings, we naturally recoil from seeing ourselves and each other as either monosided homosexualists or homo-oriented straights. And then for many of us come revelations of feminist thought and practice. We discover women exposing, breaking free of pseudo-slavery into whirling, fiery gun ecstasies of loving, magical sister selves. We discover anarcho-sissydom, life-loving faggotry, and more. We begin to suspect the existence of hidden universes beyond the pale of straight space-time delusions. Our straight sociocultural enculturations have blinded us. We must turn to the freer world of our imagination, fantasy, dreams, and myths. Let us open to truthful and spiriting visions from below and above and outside our prisons. Such visions are immeasurably precious. Let us love and cherish them, gather, share, and evolve with them, and so make our escape. Let us build fairy mythologies, gay ways of thinking and doing, to realize and protect our loving, soulful brotherhood, to reclaim ourselves, recreate our culture, regain our heritage, remember our fate as beings of spirit, wisdom, power, compassion, truthfulness, light. This book is myth building in action. It represents 3.5 years of my own dreaming and practicing visions of evolving, revolutionary gayness and self-transformation. Herein lie fairy tales for reference, example, and support in combating that straight, dark maze of manly engulfment. Herein lie fantasy maps for spirit questing through time and space to other worlds, exploring queer Martian canals, soaring among Venusian cloud formations. I am building thoughts of paths to places and lives which do not exist in any straight world, which are simply nowhere. I suppose we could call this gay theology, philosophy, psychology, politics, physics. But my desire is not to recreate straight academia, but turn you on. My desire is life, not death, freedom, not slavery, for all of us equally. I much prefer transcendental joy, transmutational mind, healing shamanic trance, ensouling drug magic, sexo-spiritual ecstasy, revelational love, strong protective sorcery, enveloping spirit light. The first essay, Vision or Love, came to me in the spring of 1976. It's a beginning step, concerned with building a new worldview, a set of basic concepts, a theoretical framework to orient and guide and protect gay questings to sustain our struggles. Then in the winter of 77 came Becoming Gay Shamanism, exploring shapes of sorcerous self-transformations required by and resulting from the practice of visionary love. The third essay, Transmutational Fairy, which slowly emerged during the summer of 79, becomes itself a shamanic trance and therein speaks of vision and a call to an altogether otherness. Okay, he's going to change the tape. So pretend like no one's here. Okay, we're on. Thank you. Because I can't reproduce it. Nothing that I'm sharing with you or that I here is like it really was back then. And these words are only like the skeleton remains of it actually was a person kind of thing. See? And otherwise it's just that you see these skeletal words on the page. That's all there is. But you see how different it is if I flesh it out a little. And I'm suggesting that even if I'm getting a little colorful here, I'm alluding to a world in which I was like this way. I'm doing it then in honor of the spirit of the material I'm sharing with you to be like this a little bit. Rest assured, for those of you who know me personally. I'm like this as well individually. I haven't forgotten any of this stuff right back then. It's all kind of keeps growing and developing, in fact, is what's really interesting about it. Okay, well, read a little bit more. These essays are autobiographical. They attempt to organize and describe my dreamings, visionings, understandings, and changings in those years. They are products of a journey, a healing journey from straight Western civilization to new gay places. On exploration in thought, in being, in time, and in space. My enculturated person went traveling overseas in foreign exotic lands. And as the British used to say about certain such explorers, quote, he went native, unquote. This book is the story of an immigrant. It's a story transcribed onto these linear English book pages as best as I could manage. I see myself as trying to serve as translator, attempting to share meanings, messages, and knowings which were given to me in mindscapes light years distant from English. I've tried to shape the writings to maximize understanding and remain faithful to what I received. Of course, this depended on my own state of being, ability to communicate, and any personal limitations and liabilities at the times of writing. I certainly changed over the years, and you'll note some differences as the essays progress. Yet for me, the outer forms of the writing are not as important as the inner spirit. May you receive these words with the same love and care in which they came to me. My hope throughout this book is to further your unfolding development, your own seeing, experiencing, understanding, questing, flying, in your own ways. I feel there can be no such thing as gay leaders or hierarchs, only sharers, only inspirers. So likewise, there can be no followers, no armchair or vicarious gay travelers. For gay evolution to be successful, it must come from and happen in each of our own living selves, authentically. May you hear truth in your own heart. That and love will bind us together. Keep this in mind as you're reading. I see gay realization as evolving maturity and lived fullness of each individual, as anarcho-communal empathic friendships, as a leaderless spiritual brotherhood. We'll go on. It's interesting a little bit more. Now I word here about why I'm speaking primarily to men. I think being a lesbian is radically different from being a gay man, although I feel our visions are very close. This is why I won't speak about or for women, because it's not my place, although I know many lesbians will see their visions in our eyes too. I welcome them to share my writings. I hope that someday we will build powerful alliances together. This was written during a period in which women I was relating with and stuff like that mainly were what we will now call, or what they call themselves, lesbian separatists. Strong way that time women did not wish to associate with men, no matter what attitude men were holding or what kind of men they were. There was a bunch of men who responded in kind in the sense of respecting the women who wanted to explore their womanness were interested in doing that. make sure to acknowledge that and address that specifically. So I want to share that as well here too, because that goes on, you see. And then otherwise one might wonder. I hope reading this book will encourage my brothers to believe in yourselves and your gay dreams. I hope it will help us have faith, trust, revelations, and gatherings. I hope it will grow, flow, coagulate, build those loving, healing, supportive friendships, networks, matrices, homes, communities, and non-institutions so vital for our survival. Let's make living crystal balls, magical doors, transformational halfway houses, transportational fairy cyclones. Let's cross the abyss on silvery wings to new worlds, lost homes. Re-emerge with the great spirit of all. Let's have mass migrations. As we depart straight realms, our thoughts, our languages, our lifestyles, and environments will all change. Periods of confusion and disorientation are inevitable. But keep in mind that as a gay person, the trip from straight to gay is a healing journey, a journey to wholeness, to health. The traveler must abandon the perversions, the corruptions, the cancers gained in straight life. The prison walls of straight space, straight time will crumble. There are multitudes of dimensions, multitudes of realities and beings in existence. And much may seem unbelievable or even terribly fantastic at first. Yet it's been both mine and other gay travelers' experience that we will find our way, in large part because mysterious others, capital others, come to help us. Wonderful beings or consciousnesses exist on the fairy path, beings of great awareness and wisdom. In the establishment of living gayness, we have loving friends. We will change and we will transmute ourselves. Like Native Americans and most all nature peoples, we will come to see life as essentially spiritful and essentially good. The sun, moon, and earth feed us, and we will learn that we are each sun, moon, earth, and all else. Then we will be entering our fate to become and be gay. Spirit, the intelligent power shaping and sustaining matter, space, time, will bless us, and we'll remember we were really spirit all along, and then we will assume our responsibilities and complete our tasks in the cosmic scheme of things. May we be open, may we be with harmony and inspiration. May we dance and sing our questings, our joys and happiness and taste, ecstatic joy. May we be healed and become whole. May we be truth, compassion, and infinite spirit. That's the introduction. I have to get into the feel, or it makes no sense otherwise. You see, it's just flat words on the page. It's very dull, strange, or odd, maybe a way to put it, because there's a kind of orality, speaking the words out loud, and there's a kind of groupness or communality. I'm really in touch with myself and philosophy, this communal space, and others who I'm in a larger sense of conversation with about this stuff. It represents a little bit of that world that I was telling you about. Well, I can see it's got you all interested now. You're all intrigued. This was the idea. I would have to demonstrate it a little bit as well as talk about it to have it. Okay. Well, I see we have loads of time. Yeah, excellent. So perhaps I can now actually get a little more into what the topic of tonight is. Which is this silly essay, Becoming Gay Shamanism. You can notice it's silly because you have this title that's silly. Becoming Gay Shamanism. What is that? You tell me. I'm trying to think of that as a noun. Becoming Gay Shamanism. You see, if you think of a shaman, the word shamanism is a noun. Shamanism. Okay, but now becoming shamanism. You see how it pivots it on its corner. So we think later on, I wasn't writing during an era when people wrote using the word queer in its more common terminological sense. But it's like, that's queer. It's what, when queer theorists call themselves queer, or trying to get at what's interesting about being homo. Not queer, homo. It's the queerness in homos. Homos itself is queer, without having to be queer, by being homo. If you call it queer, you're being homophobic. That's what I found out before even it became common usage to have these debates and fights about gay and lesbian versus queer as labels or identities or terms. Yeah. And so I found that really interesting, that this whole idea of becoming shamanic. So when I wanted to become more gay, I found it the same as becoming more shamanic.